volunteers in China conduct disaster surveys after days of heavy rain in Changsha. We catch up with Taitung's Taimali a year after Typhoon Nepartak hit the region to see how the area is recovering. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Lee-Shioda. Thank you for joining us. China's rainy season began on June 22nd with nearly a dozen days of rain, causing flooding in the Hunan provincial capital of Changsha. Local Tzu Chi volunteers from July 2nd started to survey the area and visited 3 resettlement centers. Volunteers hope to distribute Jingsi folding beds and household items to villagers in the days ahead.
Floodwaters have reached one story as residents can now only travel by boat. Continuous heavy rain in Hunan province for the past week has resulted in a sort of small disaster. Heavy rain in Hunan's provincial capital of Changsha spared few as 8 out of 9 villages were affected. The local government placed thousands of affected people in shelters. Tzu Chi volunteers also launched disaster relief operation, visiting resettlement centers one by one.
It's a pity, but we will work hard to overcome this. We will get better. We all need to work together.
After learning more about the situation, volunteers found that about 80% of those affected were farmers. Most were evacuated without bringing anything. The government provided sleeping mats and some things to eat off, allowing them to sleep in school classrooms.
This is the first time the school has become a shelter. How can I say this? We want to treat everyone as if they were our friends and much like part of our family, and entertain them as much as possible.
In response to the needs of the victims, the Tzu Chi volunteers will start from Jiangsu's Kunsan, mobilizing 400 Jingsi folding beds, and also purchase associated daily use items to help these flood survivors. These goods are to be distributed over the next 2 days, helping relieve the suffering of local people.
In Taiwan, TMO Central Chapter regularly hosts free medical clinics to look after seniors in remote regions. Recently, they returned to Taitung and Miaoli's mountain region to check on the residents' health. A farmer when she was younger, Yang Lee-Shioda, has diabetes and hypertension. Doctors are here today to remind her to take care of her health. Eating well is the source of healthy living.
If your eating habits return to the habits of 40 to 50 years ago, you will definitely live to be 120.
Tima is visiting the residents in Xinshe's mountain region for their routine medical free clinic. The solitary senior, who is 91, is a longtime smoker. The doctors are worried about his health.
If we take walks outside, we don't need to smoke anymore.
Tima's Central Chapter has long held free clinics for seniors in remote regions. While doctors look after the health, volunteers take the opportunity to serve too. Wei Xingru is happy to cut hair at the Pingling Free Clinic held in Miaoli's Zhuolan.
I gain more joy the more I do this.
She has also recruited her mother and sister to join the volunteers' ranks.
The volunteers will take good care of me.
I want to continue on forward on this path.
Continuing on the Bodhisattva path, as long as there is a will, there is a way. Many people in Indonesia suffer from cataract and are unable to seek medical assistance. To help solve this problem, the Tzu Chi Madam branch collaborated with Putri Hospital to hold a free clinic for cataract sufferers. At the occasion, the patients received a medical consultation as well as surgery to regain their vision.
Carefully explaining the process of cataract surgery, Tzu Chi volunteers in Medan collaborate with Putri Hospital to hold a free clinic.
The main purpose of this free clinic is to help cataract sufferers regain their vision. So this time we collaborate with Putri Hospital. Most of the patients are elderly people. After restoring their vision, the quality of their life will improve.
In Indonesia, the gap between rich and poor is wide. Many rural areas lack sufficient medical resources, so when local residents get sick, they don't know where to go for treatment, nor can they afford payments for it. Among them, over 80,000 people are cataract patients.
Memang dari hasil screening yang
Prior to the clinic, we have already given the patients a health screening. Most of them are suitable for surgery. They are almost in a state of blindness, so after recovering from the surgery, they can see again.
After undergoing cataract surgery, the patients and their families see hope in their life.
My mother has regained her vision after surgery. Now she's able to read books and see her children and grandchildren. I want to express my sincere gratitude to Tzu Chi Foundation for providing us with free medical services.
Walking out of the operating room, all of the patients foresee their bright future.
Currently in the 9th grade at Kaohsiung's Daren Junior High, Tang Wei-Xun, who has hereditary epidermolysis bullosa, continues to defy the odds and lives his life to the fullest. Though there are many restrictions in his life, he doesn't let those obstacles get in the way. He won the Presidential Educational Award this year, but this isn't his first honor, and he had received this award when he was in elementary school already. Let's take a look at a typical day for him at school. Sewing is easy for the average student, but for Tang Wei-Xun, each stitch causes him pain.
Picking up the needle hurts still because it's hard.
Currently in the 9th grade, Tang Wei-Xun has hereditary epidermolysis bullosa, which affects the tissue on his skin, causing his fragile skin to easily blister. Yet despite his difficulties, he seizes all chances to study, even home ec lessons.
If I can do it myself, then I will try. It's a challenge for me.
He doesn't want people to think of him differently or with special needs. He has a strong heart and wants to be just as good as others.
Though his personality is strong, his skin is quite the opposite. Tang's skin cannot come into contact with anyone. Thus, even when he goes to the bathroom, his peers accompany him to avoid accidents. His classmates often crowd his desk at lunch.
They will come to talk to me. They think I look lonely, so they chat with me.
His lunch must be liquidized, so his mother, who goes to school with him, begins preparing it half an hour earlier.
He can't swallow food directly. It will harm his throat.
Tang's mother is with him 24 hours a day, but she doesn't interfere, only there when he needs help. In the 8th grade, Tang's eyes were severely hurt, impairing his vision. During his month of recovery, he was afraid he might lose his vision completely.
He said if this was the test given to him, then he accepts it head on. When I heard him say that, I was really moved. I felt he was saying it to give me encouragement, but I know in his heart he was suffering.
There's a lot of suffering in life in general, but I try to conquer each as they come.
With his positive outlook on life, he continues to be the emotional support his mother needs.
I've learned from him. He has tenacity.
With a bittersweet life, Tang lives his life to the fullest. Unable to exercise at will, Tang participated in a relay race for the first time, thanks to the accompaniment of his entire class.
Everyone ran at my speed and helped me complete the race. I was quite moved. I couldn't have tried something like that without everyone's help.
He gets top marks in class and can play the piano or even host school activities.
He doesn't bow down to life. We feel he's actually inspiring and moving us with his spirit.
Tang continues to chase his dream despite his disease by going on to senior high. On July 8, 2016, Super Typhoon Nepartak made landfall in Taitung's Taimali. The typhoon brought level 17 winds, which caused the county to experience over $131 million in losses. Taitung City needed 7 days to clean up from the disaster, resulting in over 6,000 tons of garbage. A year later, we returned to Taitung to see how the residents are coping.
Taitung's Zhonghua Road is a popular shopping district, which is one of the liveliest parts of Taitung County. And maybe its more important business district, but times have been tough since Typhoon Nepartak. Strong winds damaged a number of homes, tearing off the roof and also littering street signs across the road. Trees are also knocked over and blocking the street. Many cars are even blown over as losses for the county reach up to $131.5 million, much like a scene out of the movie The Day After Tomorrow. In fact, typhoons can be predicted in advance, but the public hasn't undertaken the right measures to prevent the disaster.
Before, when a typhoon would come, some people would take down their signs to prevent damage, but many didn't, which led to this disaster. Actually, in the past 20 years, few people have asked us to take down their signs.
After the storm, houses and shops were all busy recovering, doing the ironwork for signs and new signboards. For those who make signs, this was a big payday, but there wasn't enough staff to do all this work.
Because of limited manpower, we did everything for our customers first. Later, the county government wrote a letter asking outer counties and cities to lend manpower support.
Store signs are a part of corporate image and also an important part of a city's appearance. Following the storm, Taitung County government promoted a small store sign to transform the city, offering $600 in subsidies to limit the size of such signs, which could also prevent such a disaster from happening again. Many were now aware of the dangers that such signs pose.
These signs need metal work to attach to the wall, which leads our city to look much more cluttered. Making this change is actually a very large undertaking.
From the point of view of disaster prevention, experts say horizontal wall-mounted signs are little better, though in fact safety measures for such signs have yet to be implemented.
The force of the wind on this vertical sign makes it very vulnerable when it is attached to the wall, as it may experience a lot of damage.
To improve Taitung for the better, this co-working space in the sugar factory saw Ronald Liu move from Kaohsiung to Taitung to help with a program following Typhoon Nepartak. He wanted to remake many of the store signs in the city, recruiting some 50 designers to contribute free design services. He hoped to use the internet to raise these funds.
At that time, we expected that each sign would cost $600. And if we did 40 signs, we would need around $24,000. But on any online fundraising platform, this isn't a small amount of money.
While these young people are enthusiastic, they may have overestimated their campaign, which led their fundraising effort to fail.
The preparation period is relatively short, so our plan and description weren't so detailed. Over the last 2 months of the campaign, we had only raised about $2,900, which is just less than $3,300, which is a pity.
Later, a financial holding company presented the group with $329,000, which allowed the program to continue, with 26 stores becoming involved in the campaign, with even the sugar factory creative market being one such customer.
They invited some skilled designers, and after the storm, there was a lot of demand for store designs. Now it has received a lot of people's praise.
Compared to the general signs, the color and the words are done with more care. This design team uses a simple design concept which isn't fancy and may even make the character smaller, though it still appeals to consumers.
Basically, they gave me a lot of choices and let me pick what I wanted. For example, I wanted a round design, and they gave me one that was quite appealing rather than square characters.
所有的设计师都是无偿前来协助，但他们除了帮忙店家设计招牌，部分设计师还帮忙店家做整体规划。
This half-year reconstruction effort was chronicled in the 7-minute, 18-second documentary film about remaking of street signs in Taitung. It shows that the people of Taitung are committed to rebuilding after Typhoon Nepartak. In our next report, we will see how the area's agricultural community has bounced back from the disaster.
July 3rd was International Plastic Bag Free Day, and though that day is over, we can still participate in reducing our dependence on plastic bags, as the lasting impact it has on society is much longer than the few minutes we use each bag for. Let's take a look to see how Taiwan's breaking free from the plastic bag addiction. At the supermarket, people are lined up with their carts filled in shopping bag at the ready. Some even bring their own cart to do the shopping. For those that have forgotten their own, the store provides second-hand cartons and paper bags.
From promoting the event in May until now July, in the past 2 months in our store, over 50% of the customers bring their own shopping bag.
From July 1st to 3rd, our stores are no longer selling plastic bags. In total, we have reduced about 60,000 plastic bags from entering society.
In Taiwan, government policies, which goes into effect on January of 2018, states that 14 types of plastics in 90,000 shops will be affected by the updated plastic ban.
We hope the government can expand this policy to street vendors, night markets, or even traditional markets to really make a difference.
Currently, there are countries at the forefront of this plastic ban, with countries in the EU looking to join this ban completely by the end of next year, while France, Australia, and Hong Kong have enforced this policy in their country already. Zhejiang's Yiwu has a couple who eagerly works as recycling volunteers. Both of them are over the age of 80. They are originally from Lanzhou, but 2 months ago their daughter brought them to Yiwu. Their daughter introduced them to a Tzu Chi recycling station, and they soon became quite interested in this work. They said that they will even bring these habits back with them when they return to Lanzhou.
Ready to pick up recycling is this elderly couple from Zhejiang's Yiwu, who go out every day to collect recyclables. They believe that it is one of the most practical things that they can do.
Early in the morning at about 5 o'clock, we go out and collect for 2 to 3 hours. And then around 8 or 9, we come back and have something to eat. Sometimes our clothes are wet with sweat, so we take a shower to cool down a bit.
83-year-old Li Fengshan and 81-year-old Li Linchun are originally from Lanzhou. They came to live with their daughter in Yiwu and accidentally began working as part of Tzu Chi's recycling team for the past 2 months.
They are so old, and yet they are still able to do so much. Very early every morning, they go out to collect these recyclables. We are very grateful and very touched.
The small pickup truck, which is loaded with recyclables, is the result of this couple working for 10 days. They not only sort these items carefully, but also encourage neighbors to follow suit.
I tried to tell them not to use plastic bags, as they should bring their own reusable bags when they go out. Bringing plastic bags home leads to too much rubbish, which needs to be recycled. This is something which I tried to tell them.
Now, when the couple returns to Lanzhou, they hope to bring back these good habits to their community and spread these concepts of recycling.
Staying on the recycling topic in China, this year marks the 2nd year of the establishment of the Aocheng recycling station in Kunming. Though it is located inside a building, it is filled with tons of volunteers ready to help. These recycling volunteers have also promoted conservation ideals to schools and other community members. The Aocheng recycling station is located inside this community building. The volunteers established the station 2 years ago to help improve their environment.
Our main purpose is wanting to promote this ideal to the residents of this building.
The volunteers began with this pure intent, and each month they visit the Aochen Plaza to promote environmental protection, as well as visiting schools to teach students. Some students enjoy working at the recycling station, learning different categories for separation. Even one volunteer gave up playing mahjong for recycling.
In the past, once I began to play mahjong, I'd lose track of time. Now I'm very punctual to begin my recycling work.
With more places to do good deeds, purifying hearts is easier than ever. "240 Tzu Chi volunteers in Fujian's Quanzhou recently participated in a cleanup of Yakou Beach. The day before this event, more than 10 volunteers mobilized to clean up the public restroom at this beach. Although the environment was dirty and unsanitary, they said the work was not difficult, as it allowed them to experience the joy of being in service.
This group of volunteers bring their cleaning tools to this public restroom. Each one of them carefully cleans and even squeezes down to scrub the floor and toilets. Everyone rushes to clean the dirtiest corner. After attentively cleaning the male toilet, all of the urinals look clean and bright.
This toilet is usually dirty. The water pipe is broken, so we cannot clean the toilet with water. I'm not as devoted as these volunteers.
These volunteers are very devoted because they are going to conduct a beach cleanup the next day. 240 volunteers head to Yakou Beach in Fujian's Quanzhou. Looking around the coastline, one can see that there is trash everywhere. They divide into several groups, with each group containing 3 people to dig up the rubbish.
1、2、3，再来，1、2、3，抓一点，洗一点，啊，成年的污垢，要一点一点的用师傅的法来洗。人家说，衣服脏了，脸脏了，用自来水可以洗，好，用矿泉水可以洗，哎，心脏了用师傅的法水洗。那里有什么东西？
People usually discard their trash at will. After personally picking up the trash here, I realized how much garbage this place has. People littered many cigarette butts and barbecue bamboo sticks. I should repent because I also did this before.
After cleaning the beach for 2 hours, volunteers will feel content because they have experienced the joy of giving.
The Long Island Tzu Chi Youth Orchestra's summer plans of touring California included a performance at Disneyland, as well as the Tzu Chi U.S. headquarters in San Dimas. Besides bringing music to the audiences, these youngsters were also glad to spend their summer doing something meaningful. We will leave you with these images at the end of the program. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.